This translates to 800 vice employees who have given more than 6,400 dedicated hours of community service to nearly 10,000 families in 25 Gawad Kalina villages nationwide. Today, Pfizer employees have reached out to 20 more communities and non-government organizations across the Philippines.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, the Volunteer Lifetime Achievement Award will be given to the late Justice Leonor Ines Luciano. Justice Luciano is no longer with us. So that is son-in-law, Mabini F. Pablo, former Undersecretary of the Department of Public Works and Highways, will receive the award.
Justice Leonor Ines Luciano is recognized for her lifelong commitment to volunteerism and her shining example, serving the poor and the less privileged in society, through legal aid, for her untiring crusade and advocacy for the promotion, protection, and preservation of Filipino families by empowering women and the rehabilitation of youth offenders, and for her significant role in the continued development of the Philippine Red Cross as a vessel of hope. As a young lawyer, she, together with other volunteers, ran the UP Legal Lawyers Circle, Incorporated Legal Aid Center, helping indigent wives and mothers find solutions to their family problems and appear in court pro bono on their behalf. She made many innovations as a judge. She focused not only on accommodating physicians, but also on the rehabilitation of offenders and creating foundations for them and their families. As a two-time president of the Catholic Women's League, president of the National Council of Women in the Philippines, a two-term federal representative for women in Congress, and as a founder and guiding light for a number of women's non-governmental organizations, Justice Luciano gave her time and resources to empower women. She was also very much involved in the Philippine Red Cross in her capacity as a governor and chairperson of the PRC's International Humanitarian Law National Committee. Her parents called her life of humility and service. Justice Leonor Ines Luciano walked and lived.
May we request, before the award is given, may we request Philippine Red Cross Governor Corazon Alma de Leon, the daughters of Justice Luciano, namely Claire Pablo and Guy Ledesma, and Nanette Luciano, and also the late Justice's granddaughter. May we ask them to please come up on stage to join Mr. Pablo in receiving the award. Thank you. Esther Vival.
Philippines, promoting young Filipino women into progressive, dynamic, proactive, patriotic, and God-loving members of society, and ordinary legacy of Philippine education through innovative and forward-looking web-based learning system, making Philippine literature accessible to everyone. Despite her many business pursuits, Mrs. Tibao also devotes much of her time in fulfilling her duties as a civic leader and advocate for women's causes. For many years, she served as one of the commissioners of the National Commission on the Role of Filipino Women, now the Philippine Commission on Women. She is also the first and thus far the only Asian to be elected world president of International Women, an organization of wives of Rotary members worldwide, based in London, England. Mrs. Tibao also served as president of the National Council of Women in the Philippines, the umbrella organization of all women's groups in the country. Currently, she serves as one of the trustees of the University of the Philippines Center for Women's Studies Foundation and one of the board members of the Philippine Red Cross, Quezon City Council, life member of the Girl Scouts of the Philippines, Catholic Women's League, and is an Order of Preachers Tertiary. Mrs. Tibao established the Tibao Foundation, the social cultural development arm of Tibao Publishing House, Incorporated, through which it hopes to fulfill its corporate social responsibilities. The foundation promotes and supports formal and informal education for children, teenagers, and adults.
Thank you. Dear friends in volunteerism, let us give our 2010 SOV awardees a very warm round of applause. Wala na gulungan. Let us now hear what the awardees will share with us at this very important moment. Let us now hear the awardees deliver a brief response.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. 5 years ago, I was just like any ordinary teenager. I was indecisive, I was apprehensive, I was impulsive. I didn't know what I wanted. I was doubtful of my skills, my potentials, my capabilities. For me, to try means to give my best shot. And trying always entails taking risks and accommodating the possibility of failing. I was afraid to fail then. But I remember making decisions without even thinking twice. And how thankful I am now for acting the way I did. Because there was never a time when I became apathetic. I was in first year when our co-curricular organization, the Samahang Tagapagtaguyod ng Edukasyong Pilipino, pursued its battle against apathy, a deadly epidemic that has inflicted education students, resulting to the college's weak participation in university and community-wide activities. I was deeply bothered by this. How can one be a good even motivate himself. As Joel Barker puts it, vision without action is merely a dream. Action without vision just passes the time. But vision with action can change the world. I was challenged to initiate change at a young age. I was challenged even more to create my own legacy as I grew older. I spearheaded the Hasik Karunungan, an adult ATAS literacy program when I was in college. Every Sunday, my mom, who is also a teacher, and I, together with Sister Cleopatra Moreno, would go to the foot of Mount Isarog at Pili, Camarines Sur and teach the Tabangons. I remember how good it felt when I was there. I remember how scared and excited I was when, barely after a week, when I was introduced as their teacher, I was already tasked to teach them the basics in writing. I remember how nervous I was just standing before them, a group of adults whom I barely know. As I asked myself, would they really learn something from me? But that was a few years back. Now, things are different. The last time I was there, I could not contain my joy when one of my students, a 55-year-old man, approached me, showed me his notebook, and said confidently, "Ma'am, salamat po. Kasi nakakapagbasa na po ako, nakakapagsulat na po ako." And for me, these are the most stirring statements that a teacher can be told by his or her student. Hope is alive in this experience. That is why, despite the financial difficulties in reviving the program, I always tell myself, God will make a way, and I will make it happen again. Onofre Pagsanghan, one of the greatest educators alive, once said, "To stay fully alive, you have to breathe in and to breathe out. That's the way you live. You get and you give." I've been loved into excellence, and the only way I can pay back all the love that I have received in my life is to love back. Nothing is as wonderful as holding a fledgling in the palm of your hands and seeing it fly for the first time. Yes, I did make a difference in the lives of the people I have helped and served. But I believe everything should not stop there. Despite the difficulties which are limitless, the bad road, funds needed for food and school supplies, and income-generating projects for our